When they arrived the village, they were welcomed with open arms. The village was busy with activities in preparation for the Ofala festival. The girls were treated like royalty and were served local dishes. On the day of the Ofala, the whole field was filled with dignitaries who had graced the occasion. They each met and mingled with some of the wealthy guests, enjoying the attention and the richness. But as the night approached, they were all led to a secluded area and were locked in an abandoned house. Once upon a time in Nsogu village, there lived a man named Enyinaya. He was married to a woman whose name was Akwabata. Their union was blessed with 4 children. Enyinaya and his beautiful wife Akwabata sold charcoal in Nsogu daily market. They had a beautiful daughter whose name was Obiuso. Obiuso was the eldest of their 4 children. She was good-looking and equally intelligent. Enyinaya's charcoal business was a small one, but it was their lifeline. They sold their market with dignity and saved some money out of the little they made every day to provide their children with a better life. Enyinaya was poor, but he refused to let poverty define him. He worked tirelessly just so he could provide his children with a quality education, hoping it would open doors that had always been closed to them. Their daughter Obiuso, who was naturally intelligent, was always among the top in her class. And at home, she helped her siblings with their homework after a long day at school and in the market. Years passed and she gained admission into a university. There, she was known as one of the top students. The lecturers commended her and she became the envy of her peers. Obiuso studied hard and excelled in her studies, and her excellent grades caught the attention of a group of wealthy girls in her department. These girls wear designer clothes and use expensive gadgets. Among them was Oma, Chichi, and Ego. They were rarely seen in classes, and having found out about Obiuso's intelligence, they approached her and requested she help them with their assignments. They promised to pay her for every help she rendered. Obiuso, who was from a poor background and needed money, though she never liked the association of the girls, but the offer they made to her was tempting, and so she accepted to help them out, since the money they offered could ease some of her burdens. While the girls were up and about the town meeting wealthy men, Obiuso studied and helped them with the schoolwork. With time, she began to spend more time with the girls. They met at the school talk shop, where they ate and chatted. Obiuso's friends often gave her some gifts of clothes, shoes, and sometimes took her to parties. And she soon changed her mode of dressing. Her classmates envied her friendship with the girls and wondered how she was able to maintain her good grades even as she lived her newfound social life. Though Obiuso was friends with the girls, but she never forgot that she was still the girl whose poor parents sell charcoal in the market every day. As she continued to hang out with the girls, one day, out of curiosity, she asked them why they often disappear for hours and sometimes days from school without any explanation. But the girls redirected her questions with unclear answers. One day, she was invited to one of the girls' birthday party, and when she got there, she met some wealthy-looking men, each dancing with a beautiful girl. She enjoyed herself at the party and went home that night, leaving the girls to continue with their party as she couldn't stay out for so long. Obiuso later found out that the girls had gone home with the men after the party that night. At school the next week, she asked them what they really do when they are not in school. If they just sleep at home and decide not to come to school, or they work. Oma, Chichi, and Ego looked at themselves, and with smile, Chichi told her that they go out to make money in less stressful ways that could give them the life they want. Oma told her that they were all from a poor family apart from Ego, who came from a wealthy home. But they all now live a luxury life, sponsored by the wealthy men they keep company. At first, Obiuso was shocked. She had thought their wealthy lifestyle was sponsored by their rich parents, not knowing they lay with men for money. The girl's lifestyle was far from the respectable path Obiuso had always wanted for herself. But as she continued to spend time with them, She was tempted by the amount of money they each had in their account and decided to join them. The girls were surprised, and so they asked her if she was sure about her decision to join them. But Obiuso told them her mind was made up. She wanted to escape the troubles of poverty, and if that was the way, she was willing to take the risk. On her first night at the club as a call girl, she felt out of place at first, but Ego and the other girls guided her, teaching her how to cruise the new environment. It wasn't long after she was relaxed, she caught the attention of a wealthy businessman. He was older, sophisticated, and seemed interested in her. That night, she crossed a line she had never imagined she would. As the weeks turned into months, Obiuso became more deeply rooted in this lifestyle. She slept with different men and money flowed in, and she began to enjoy the wealthy life she had always desired. And as time went on, she started missing classes more frequently. Her focus moved away from her studies to her social life, and this affected her grades, which were her pride in her first 3 years in the college. Her parents wondered why she had not been coming home as often as she used to get some money and foodstuffs. And so one day, Akwabata, out of curiosity, visited Obiuso in the college. And luckily for her, she was in the school that day. She gave her some foodstuffs and asked her how she had been coping without coming home to get some money and food items. Obiuso told her not to worry, that she was fine and had found a part-time job to help ease their financial burdens. Though Akwabata was proud of the woman their daughter had become, but she was not happy to hear that she combined the stress of work to her studies. She felt the pressure of the work might affect her studies, but Obiuso told her not to worry, that she has things under her control. Akwabata got home that day, expressing her joy and pride as she narrated her findings from the visit she paid Obiuso to her husband Enyinnaya. Unknown to them, their daughter Obiuso had, however, moved further away from the path they had hoped she would follow. One evening, as she was out with her friends for another night out, Chichi told them that there was a wealthy man who would be hosting his father's last Ofala festival in his village and would want them to entertain his guests. This to the girls was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and the pay was incredible. The girls were happy, and as they planned their trip, Oma, who had always been their leader, seemed unsure about the journey. And on the day before they made the trip, she told them she wouldn't be able to go with them, saying she was a bit under the weather. She told them to go and enjoy the great opportunity. Obiuso packed her bags and joined Chichi and Ego for the journey, unaware it would be their last journey. When they arrived the village, they were welcomed with open arms. The village was busy with activities in preparation for the Ofala festival. The girls were treated like royalty and were served local dishes. On the day of the Ofala, the whole field was filled with dignitaries who had graced the occasion. They each met and mingled with some of the wealthy guests, enjoying the attention and the richness. But as the night approached, they were all led to a secluded area and were locked in an abandoned house. It was then that they realized the true purpose of their presence. They were not there to entertain but to be used for ritual. Their fear grew, but it was too late as the doors were locked and escape was impossible. Unknown to the girls, their friend Oma had a charm which she used whenever she was about to embark on a journey, and had felt some discomfort about the trip because of the charm, which was why she never went on that journey with them. Obiuso and her friend remained locked up in the room with no food or water until 6 days, before the men killed and parted away with their private parts, leaving no trace. After a few days and they haven't arrived, Oma was afraid something bad must have happened to them, as her charms had never failed her. 2 days after they were killed, their freshly mutilated bodies were found beside their school road. When the news of the students' horrific deaths reached the school, the students rallied around the school community mourning the death of their fellow students. Obiuso's parents were shattered. They had worked so hard to give her a chance to a better life, hoping she would graduate, get a good job and support her other siblings, only to have it all end in tragedy. Their grief compounded when they found out the true cause of their daughter's death. They lived with the pains of their loss and doubled their efforts in the market, trying to protect their remaining children from the same fate. Oma, who happened to be the only one surviving among the girls, turned a new leaf and lived the remaining days of her life, teaching and inspiring students with her past story, as she told them the dangers of taking such path. From Obiuso's story, the students learned that it is commendable to be ambitious, but important for one to balance his or her ambitions with a clear moral compass. Hello, favorite one. Thanks for listening to my stories. Your support means the world to me, and I couldn't do this without you. Your likes, comments, and shares keep me motivated to create more stories. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss out on any of my new stories. Thanks again, and see you in the next story.